Did you guys know that when Bolsonaro was running for his first elections, the Romanian press was talking about him? Like, it's so weird because Brazil is a continent away from my country, and yet for some reason the press decided to talk about Brazilian politics. They didn't talk about Brazilian politics in other elections. They talked about these particular ones. And not only were they discussing about it, but they were informing the Romanian people just what a fascistic pig Bolsonaro is. And you gotta wonder why that is. Right? Like, why is it that in a country that is thousands of kilometers away and barely has any diplomatic relationships with Brazil, other than the fact that we know they exist, why is it that our people need to be informed about Brazilian elections? And the answer is that this is a tactic that the left uses. The Romanian press that I'm talking about is an affiliate of CNN. And the reason they're doing this is to make people pre-programmed in order to believe, okay, Bolsonaro is a fascist. So then they go on internet forums, they go on social media, and they voice their concerns. And it seems as if like there's this huge wave of people that are against Bolsonaro. And they do this with most elections, right? Like they do this with Germany's AFD party. They did this in the UK with Brexit. They want to seem that the opposition against the current thing is so monumentally colossal that if you are supporting something against the current thing, then you're just an atomized individual. You're borderline insane, basically. Like, look, all of these people are saying you're wrong. And it's a tactic that the left is doing. But again, it's interesting because the concern about Bolsonaro was that he's going to bring upon fascism, right? Like, the rule of law is going to go away from Brazil. He's going to centralize power. He's going to have people goose-stepping on the streets. And none of that happened, right? Like, the idea was that his rhetoric is violent. It's the right-wingers that are inherently violent. Meanwhile, leftists are very peaceful individuals. They love flowers and shit. And it was Bolsonaro that got stabbed before the elections, which is what I believe contributed mostly to his victory. But now, Bolsonaro's reign is over. We look at Brazil and we notice that none of those things came to pass. Fascismus doesn't reign in Brazil, at least not under Bolsonaro. And no one is apologizing, right? Like, no journalist is coming out to say, well, I was wrong about the claims. No, apparently, yeah, it was just like any normal presidency, and he did his thing, and then people voted him out, and right? Like, we don't notice any of that taking place. But what's more interesting is that no journalist is being concerned about what is being done now, because as this independent journalist is reporting, the crackdown on free speech is amplifying in Brazil. Like, you have the current leader, Lula, dumping public money into the established press, and the established press is crying more and more for censorship. You gotta understand, when the government is paying the press, it's not really the government that's paying the press, it's the ruling party, right? So, like, when the government offers money to the establishment media, it's not the people offering money, no, it's the ruling party. So Lula is paying the press, and the press is asking for more and more censorship. And as you can see, the social media companies are pressured to censor. I remember it was quite bewildering when Facebook came out during the previous elections, and they had like this war room. This is how they called it, a war room, where they were fact-checking anything that people posted on social media regarding the Brazilian elections. And it's so mind-numbing, right? It's like, if social media is so dangerous for democracy, if it's so monumentally terrifying for public individuals to talk amongst each other, why don't they just shut it down then? What, right? Like, wouldn't that cause a fair and balanced system? It's like 2 months before elections, no more social media. And no more social media 2 months after the elections. And there you go, like, you completely solve the problem, but that's not what they're interested in. They're interested in controlling the narrative. So I remember Facebook was freaking out because at the time WhatsApp was completely encrypted, so they couldn't see what people were talking on WhatsApp, and the fact that Telegram allowed people to talk with each other. I mean, it's maddening, you know, in a democracy. Adults conversing with each other without terms of service or fact checkers from the established party. That's like a dictatorship, isn't it? That's like Helldivers. But now it seems that again the crackdown is in full swing, and Elon Musk apparently received an order from the Brazilian authorities to not only censor certain accounts but to also provide information on people who use specific hashtags that the dear leader of Brazil didn't appreciate. So Elon Musk actually refused. He refused both of these, right? So he's now refusing to censor. He's removing every single restriction that was placed on Twitter. And he wants to see what's going to happen. Now, the ball is in Brazil's court. They can decide that they're not going to do any more business with Twitter. Like, they can make it illegal for advertisers to advertise on Twitter if they're in Brazil. They can ban the social media website from the country. They can even go as far as to arrest the people that work at Twitter within the Brazilian headquarters. So Elon Musk doesn't know, but I think this is a game of chicken. They're actually interested to see what they're going to do because it doesn't look really good on the cameras when you shut down a social media the size of Twitter, especially when a lot of youngsters do use Twitter. And they may not even be interested in the elections, but if you take away their toy, then they may get political. And they may ask the question, like, who did this to me and why? I think that chances are the government is not going to ban Twitter. I think that they're going to leave it be. But they are going to try to put pressure on Elon Musk in other ways. Probably like trying to put pressure on his other businesses, or they're going to try to talk with the leftists from the United States to see if they can do something. But I don't think that Brazil is going to shut down Twitter. Still, it is interesting how all the anti-fascists aren't really interested in any of this, right? Like the curb stomp of freedom of information, no. I mean, obviously not. And it's also interesting how hate speech is used to crack down on dissent, right? Like, if you want to lower the crime rates, you're racist. If you're worried about the fact that your country employment numbers are dropping and companies from foreign nations are coming in and they're hiring people from the outside. Oh, again, you can't talk about that because racismus. Interesting, right? Oh, this politician that's against us, 15 years ago, he said something offensive on Twitter. Look how offensive it is. Let's show it to 10 million people just to make sure that we spread the offense. It's offensive, isn't it? Oh, he needs to resign. He's too popular. Yeah, it's interesting how hate speech can be used in order to crack down on any type of dissent. But anyway, right, let me know what you guys think, especially if you're in Brazil. I will be looking into the comment section, and I'll see you guys there. Take care.